Hey everybody, and welcome to a whole new Let's Play Ace Attorney series. We are going to be covering Apollo Justice this time, because let me tell you, the first three games have been ported to death. This game hasn't been ported or updated at all since its original release, so I figured I'd like to cover this game more than the other two games that I still haven't done yet. I'll probably cover them later on, but I wanted to do this particular game first, just for obvious reasons, because again, this never got ported, which is a real shame, because while it probably one of the, got some of the bigger flack from the fan base, it's probably one of the more, decent games. It's still a good game. It's not a bad game or anything like that, but again, no Phoenix Wright in the front, I'm assuming, and that's why it got flack or whatever it was, but anyway, let's go ahead and just start off this case in this game with Turnabout Trump. This is probably the third time I went through this game now. You lose. Fuck! Heck! I have no idea what's going on! Who's saying what? But someone has been murdered, obviously. Obviously! Oh, can I actually skip this? Thank God. Okay, I realize the slow text happens in an Ace Attorney game when it's your first time playing through the game. Because after I finished Investigation 2, I went back just to look for stuff. I noticed I could actually skip stuff, so apparently that's how you make slow text go faster. You need to go through the game once. Panicked, palms sweaty. I can't admit it. I'm nervous. Ah, good morning. Good morning, sir. You look tense, Justice. Wound up tight? Wound up, sir? No, I'm loose. I'm fine. That screeching noise. Is that your voice? I suppose it's to be expected. Your first trial, and it's homicide. I guess justice doesn't start small, eh? I'm fine. I got up at 5 a.m. to do my Courts of Steel voice workout. I'm fine! Ah, that explains it. I did detect a certain rasping quality to your speech. I overdid it again. I forgot how great the music in this game is too. As you know, your client today is a good friend of mine. I wouldn't want to let him down, if you get my drift. Drift gotten, sir. I'm all over that drift. As it happens, I dined with him the night of the murder. We can't let this case fall through. Yes, I'm fine, sir. One more thing. Don't say you're fine quite so much. People might take you the wrong way. I'll be preparing our case. You might want to introduce yourself to the client. Who is our client? My name is Apollo Justice. If it isn't clear already, I'm a new attorney. And today is my first trial. Not that I'm worried or anything. The defendant has been accused of murder. My boss wants to help him out, of course. So do I. I mean, there's no way he did it. Not him. No way. Now who is this? Whoa. Good, morning.
Morning. It's all up to you today.
First trial, nervous. Meeting him. cardiac arrest. I think I'm supposed to say something. Help?
So, you're...
Fine! I'm fine!
Ah, Mr. Fine, is it? I did remember you having an odd name.
Well, we're off to a great start. Are you sure you're... Okay, I mean, with me? Mr. Gavin is a top-notch defense attorney, and he's your friend, so why...
You'll see. You can do it. Be confident.
I'm really sorry this happened to you. I mean,
It's time. Shall we?
Yes, sir! Okay, I need to focus. First trial. Here comes justice! Aww, I forgot how nervous Apollo was his first time through. I don't think even Phoenix Wright was this nervous his first trial. Such a cute dork. I'm a big fan of Apollo Justice if you hadn't realized. The court is now in session. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is, fine. I mean ready, Your Honor. Mind going blank. Don't panic. Too late. Your name was Mr. Justice? This is your first trial? Yes, Your Honor, but I'm fine, really. Are you quite sure? Your voice sounds a bit strained. Mr. Galvin. Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that you would be heading up this case. That was my intention, yes. However, a defense attorney must always see to his client's wishes, and my client specifically requested Mr. Justice. Well, of course he wants justice, but to entrust his case to this greenhorn, why? I do not exaggerate when I say that you're the best defense attorney in town, Mr. Gavin. Okay, so Gavin's got trial experience, fine, but does he have cords of steel? Oh my god, Apollo. Then let's begin. The defendant may enter the courtroom. This is truly an unfortunate turn of events. I'm sorry we had to meet again under these circumstances. Long time no see, Mr. Wright.
Let's put the past behind us, shall we? These days, I'm merely Phoenix Wright, piano player.
Mr. Wright, how could this have happened? I won't speak of it further then. If the prosecution would be so kind as to explain the charges, Mr. Payne? To think I saw you enter this room a fresh attorney, and now I'll see you leave in chains.
Ah, Winston Payne. Subtle as ever, I see.
Ahem. The crime occurred at the Porsche... Just the volume down on my 3DS, sorry. The crime occurred at the Borscht Bowl Club, a Russian restaurant. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, took the victim, a customer, and hit him, wham, on the head, smacked, kill him cold. A customer at the restaurant, you say? And in defense, you say he was... The pianist for the club, it seems. Phoenix Wright, a pianist. This is the weapon that took the victim's life, a bottle of grape juice. Grape juice is apparently our defendant's drink of choice. The court accepts the deadly bottle as evidence. Something to note, Justice. All evidence is filed in the court record. Make a practice of checking it frequently. The court record. Right, I've heard of that. Use the court record button to look at the evidence so far. I'm confident in your ability to handle this. Right, the court record button. Sounds like it's time for some hands-on action. So, the victim was a customer at this restaurant. But just who was this, Shady Smith fellow? Shady Smith? Shady Smith. We believe he was a traveler, Your Honor. A traveler? According to his passport, he has been out of the country for a number of years. He had only returned to this country recently, though his place of residence is unclear. And he had some sort of connection with the defendant. That, too, is unclear at present, Your Honor. We believe they first met at the Borscht Bowl Club on the night of the crime. If they had only just met, then why murder? Perhaps the victim slighted the defendant's piano playing. That doesn't appear to have been the case. No, the motive had nothing to do with the defendant's lack of playing skill. At least not piano playing. I'll let this photo explain what I mean. As we can see, a game of poker was in progress at the scene of the crime. Wait a second. Isn't poker gambling? That's a crime in and of itself. Rubble. Indeed, it appears our defendant has fallen to become the basis sort of criminal. It is true that the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim, yet it was only that, a game, in pure sense. A competition, Your Honor. A competition? Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Come again? The cards on the table had blue backs, Your Honor. I believe the defense was waxing poetic in an attempt to mystify those present and impress women. That will be our first order of business here, then, to find out more about this fatal game of cards. Very well, defendant. You will testify to the court about the poker competition held the night of the crime.
My pleasure.
This is it. My first trial. Here goes nothing. I believe in you, Apollo! You got this!
I am a pianist by trade, yet I can hardly play at all. My real job is to take on interested customers over at the poker table. The room where we play and the competition in there are the club's main attractions. The rules are simple. We play a game of poker using 2 decks of cards. That's all it is. A game. And our customers are happy.
That sounds simple enough. A pianist who can't play piano. Better than a defense attorney who can't defend. Wow. That's cold. Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. Right, Your Honor. My first cross-examination. Don't blow it. Are you alright? You're sweating bullets. Bullets? Where? It's a figure of speech, Justice. Your voice sounds strained and raspy, too. My brain feels strained and raspy, sir. You've watched me perform cross-examinations many times. Though you've never done one yourself, have you? Care for a refresher? What to do? Should I ask Mr. Galvin for a refresher course in cross-examination? Nah, we're good. No need for help here, sir. I think I've got this one covered. I think you better do more than think. You know it, or you do not. I'm fine. The courts of steels are ready for battle. My weapons, press and present. Find any inconsistencies, any lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That is cross-examination. Learn it, know it, do it. Inconsistencies, lies. Phoenix Wright? As if. Phoenix Wright would never lie, and it's up to me to prove it. Oh, Apollo. The defense may begin the cross-examination. There's a lot of things that happen in the first case that just kind of gets glazed over in Dual Destiny, let me tell you. Like his relationship with Phoenix Wright. Anyway. We're gonna be... am I pressing everything again? I'm not sure if I'm gonna be pressing everything again. I guess I'll press everything again. You can hardly play?
Oh, I play sometimes, when customers demand it. So I play them one song. That's usually all they want.
Was that supposed to be a boast just now?
The title of pianist is a mask, a respectable face I wear for the world at large.
Then why are you really at the Borscht Bowl Club? Alright, we're skipping over that. So, you claim you weren't gambling?
That's right. It was simply a game.
You didn't bet any money? Not even a little?
The only thing at stake in our game was pride itself.
Oh, well put, Mr. Wright. I've got a mind to play a hand of poker myself. The stakes! Your fate! Can we get back to the trial now? I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony. Isn't it a little too early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. If you need more information, don't forget to press. Right, I got it. I'm fine. Time to listen to that testimony again. They pay you just to play poker?
That would seem to be the case. I am a professional, after all.
Bah! Do I detect pride in that statement? It's just hard for an honest, hard-working member of society like me to imagine.
Yes, your imagination was always a bit limited, Winston.
What?
I've played poker for 7 years in that little room, and I've never lost once.
What?
You see why the customers come now? Defeat the undefeated poker champion. It's quite a draw. That is, I'm quite a draw.
Wait, you've never lost once? Not even one time?
As I said, I'm a professional.
He's played poker for 7 years and not lost once. Is that even possible? That's what I'm wondering about. The room in the crime scene photo is an attraction.
It has quite a history, actually. The Borscht Bowl Club used to be a gathering spot for black market types back in the day.
But black market?
All in the past. Things like the black market are only on the silver screen nowadays. Suffice it to say that there are a lot of deals being made under the table. Right there in that room.
A smoky room, gambling hoods. You know, just looking at this picture makes me feel bad.
The bosses gather around the table, cutting deals, safe from the eyes of the law. Meanwhile, a goon keeps watch through the small window. I can practically picture it now.
That window does look like it would be good for keeping a lookout, but little else.
The room had a few other tricks to it, though it was common knowledge to our regulars. At any rate, they come to play poker in a room steeped in history. Despite the dark past, it was all just good, clean fun.
Good, clean fun. Haha. 2 decks of cards?
A simple measure to prevent cheating. If you alternate 2 decks, no one can slip in cards.
There's something else I noticed. In addition to the cards on the table, there are some lying scattered on the floor. Precisely. Cards on the table, cards upon the floor. Each one forming a complete deck. A crime scene painted blue by a sad sweep of cards. It's poetic, really.
Incidentally, we used 2 types of cards at the club. One deck of cards was red, the other blue.
Oh? As I recall, in poker you make 5-card hands. I can see how it would be easy to cheat.
Yes, a game of hands.
This competition you're talking about. I believe the court understands the nature of the game sufficiently. That's right. It was a simple game after all. Are you sure? Huh? People are not murdered over simple games, Mr. Justice. Defendant, you were in the room the very moment the crime occurred, yet you claim no connection to the crime.
Now that's strange.
What's strange?
I was testifying about the competition that night. Asking me about the crime at this point is against the rules, Your Honor. Of course, I expected to hear a cry of objection from the defense.
I completely let that one slip by. Don't despair yet, Justice. Sir? Right, there's something I like made clear. Namely, your connection to the case at hand. And I'd like to hear it from you.
Sure, why not?
Very well, the defendant will amend his testimony. Just one little press. And I've got myself a whole new testimony. What did I get?
I plead silence regarding the murder, but I will say I never touched the murder weapon.
Okay. Silence?
The defendant has the right to refuse to testify. I haven't forgotten everything about the law.
But why? That clearly puts you at a disadvantage.
And it's your job to turn that around in our favor, yes?
Great, like I didn't have enough to do already. Justice, didn't you detect anything odd about that testimony? Huh? Wait, something he said did ring a little strangely. Just one thing. Now what was it? When you figured it out, I suggest presenting evidence. Evidence that it contradicts the testimony. A contradiction in Mr. Wright's testimony. But why? I better check the court record. I can't imagine Mr. Wright lying in a testimony. Isn't it a little too early to be jumping to conclusions? This is your first cross-examination. Take it slow. Oh, we're going back through this again. Alright, now we're gonna have to present something at that statement about him saying he hadn't touched the weapon. But it has Mr. Wright's prints, the bottle that apparently hit the victim. So you say you didn't touch the murder weapon, this grape juice bottle, right?
So I said.
Something the matter, Mr. Justice? Whoosh with his hair. Too bad our new defense attorney never learned how to play dumb. What's this, Mr. Payne? I examined the bottle in question, you see, and it was covered with the defendant's fingerprints. Objection! No need to shout, Mr. Justice. We can hear you just fine. Oh, excess yelling can damage the judge's ears. In our case, well, that would be bad. But what about my cords of steel? Anyway, what's so strange about fingerprints on a bottle in a restaurant? Well, that's true. The prints alone don't prove he... Oh, they would prove a thing if they were normal fingerprints. Huh? Oh my god, I love Apollo's theme. But the fingerprints on the murder weapon were upside down. Upside down? What does that mean? It means he was holding the bottle inverted, and there can be only one reason for that. Yes. To brain someone with the bottle. Ah! Mr. Galvin, I think things just took a turn for the worse. Oh? I see no problem, Justice. Huh? The only thing that matters is the truth. There's a good reason for everything. You'll see. Defendant, can you explain your fingerprints on this bottle to the court?
I stand by my plea of silence regarding the murder.
Why?
For now.
But why? Not very cooperative, are you? This could hurt your case. I'm sure he's uncooperative because he's hiding something. There must be some reason. Your Honor, you seem to have forgotten something. And what might that be, Mr. Galvin? On the night of the crime, who was it who reported the murder to the police? Reported? Oh, well, that was the defendant, Mr. Wright. But still, that... really? Yes, well, according to the case file, the murder was reported from near the scene by a call from the defendant's cell phone. Near the scene? Let's take a look at the diagram of the murder scene, shall we? The victim was murdered in a small room in a basement 2 floors down from the ground level. Of course, cell phones can't get reception so far down. The defendant used the stairs in this hallway to go above ground. The call came from the first floor of the restaurant. I see, and this is the phone that made the call. Good God, Phoenix, why are you still using that phone? The defendant could have just fled the scene of the crime if he so chose. Yet he fulfilled his duty as a citizen and reported it to the authorities. And you claim he is being uncooperative. Ugh. Nice save, Mr. Galvin. I better not waste this. I think the prosecution has toyed with our client enough for the time being. Toy? I assure you, no one is more serious about... What was it you said? The defendant was in the room the very moment the crime occurred. How could you possibly know this? That's a good question. How indeed? The answer is simple, Your Honor. The prosecution has a decisive witness. You're as good as they say you are. So someone else was in the room the night of the crime? That must mean they witnessed the crime. Everything up to now has been a warm-up, Justice. Are you ready? Just a warm-up, you say? Very well, the prosecution may call its first witness to the stand. I think she's supposed to be Russian, right? The witness will state her name and profession. Hold on just a moment. Where's the witness? I surmise that she has been frightened by the defense's demonic-looking hordes. Wow! So I use a little hair gel. Relax, people. Have no fear. If any hordes point in your direction, this court will cut them off. Wow. You are sure? I swear it on my gavel. Please come out. Isn't violence against hair a crime, Your Honor? Well, if you are sure it is okay. Not German, Russian, excuse me. Now, the prosecution. Wait a minute. Would the prosecution care to explain the witness's, paraphernalia? Paraphernalia? Yes. She is a professional, Your Honor. Those are merely the tools of her trade. And that would be? My name is Olga O'Reilly. Olga, really? Oh, really? I am employed as waitress in a Bosch Bowl Club restaurant. Then why the camera? Of course, it is my pride to serve Bosch that is naming restaurant. But I also perform, how it is said, other service. I take it one of these other services is taking the customer's pictures. Like for example, this one. That's the defendant. Indeed, on the night of the murder, man in white hat is one who has gone kaput. Indeed, that is the victim. Order, order! This is quite a piece of evidence to casually drop into our laps. It is same way as I drop cold bowls of Bosch on laps of customers, casually. Oh, God. Huh. Then the court will casually accept this new evidence. So casual. Now, witness, where were you at the time of the murder? I was in room, the hideout we call it. Excuse me, the hideout? It is room where famous gangster bad guy was arrested. Bad guy. Is room where murder took place. What? Your look of utter surprise. It is lovely. I will post by courtroom door later for you. Photos will be numbered and you will write which ones you want a copy of. So there were 3 people in the room at the time of the crime. The victim, Shady Smith, Mr. Wright, and Olga O'Reilly. Olga O'Reilly, our witness. And if Mr. Wright isn't the killer, that means... Well, there's only one other person. Very well, witness. You will testify to the court about that night's events. Sure, no problem. Gosh. That night, customer asked me to deal cards for game. It was cold. Both players played with hats on, The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Then last hand is done. But something terrible has happened, That man flew at victim and is strangling him to death. Well, okay then. Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Shady Smith. That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. I don't think that's how it's gonna work, Mr. Justice, but I think we're already out of time for this part, so we're gonna have to stop here. Oh, I will say that I will continue to be doing Apollo Justice until Ace Attorney 6 comes out, because this is more or less just a filler for now. I am planning to continue this and finish it all the way through, but when Ace Attorney 6 comes out, I'm stopping production here temporarily so I can do 6. So there might be a weird hiatus in between this stuff, but anyway, for the time being, we're going to stop here for now and continue on with this case in the next video. I'll see you guys then.